Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the free webinar BIM Collaboration and Efficiency for the Best Practices. So, about us, we are Elegant Training Center. We are approved and permitted by the KHTA. So, we are also the Autodesk Learning Partner and we are also the Autodesk Training Center. My name is Rubul Khan and I'm a BIM specialist and I am also an ACI Autodesk certified instructor at Elegant Training Center. So I train the software like the Revit, BIM 360, Inventor, Navisworks, and so on. And about today's webinar, BIM workflow in AEC industry, architecture, engineering, construction industry. In this webinar, I'm going to explain about the best practices for the collaboration and the efficiency. So this is not for the modelers. So this is just the level just after the model. So this is a coordination level workflow. So I'm going to explain what are the best practices you can keep in your BIM workflow. So here I'm going to explain about the workflow, what's happening in the BIM. Okay, so these are the softwares we are using here normally, like the Revit, Navisworks, and the Autodesk Construction Cloud, or there it's called the ACC. Okay, so in this step-by-step process, the modelers will model the disciplines. This collaboration will be happening across the architectural, structural, and MEP discipline. Okay, and all these tools are the product of the Autodesk itself. So it's an Autodesk authorized workflow. So no other external apps or no other external plugins are used in this workflow here. Okay, and what is a BIM workflow? So BIM workflow actually means it's a coordinated process. It's not only for the modeling. So BIM is not only for the Revit modeling. So there are further steps after that one. So because it's a workflow. So if it's only modeling, then I can share that model by using the mail or by USB. So here you have the more steps for the coordinations. Okay, so it's a process between the design, collaboration, and the delivery. So it means when the construction start until the construction finish over there. Okay, and there will be a teamwork happening in this file, and this file will be a digital model. You already know that one, what's the difference between the AutoCAD and the Revit. So Revit is more into the digital part of your model. Okay, but in this seminar, I'm going to explain about the shared digital model. Okay, it's not only for the one user, it's for the multiple users. Okay, and the main goal of this BIM workflow is to increase the accuracy and efficiency and the clash-free design. That's the important thing because we don't want to make any clashes between the services over there. Okay, and there are two kind of workflow. So one is the traditional workflow and the other one is the cloud workflow. So let's say the traditional workflow happens inside the office, and cloud workflow means not only the office to your contractors to your subcontractors. Okay, so it's happened whether your client is in the national or international. So that's why we are using the cloud workflow. By using only the Revit, then I can follow the traditional workflow. That means the file can be exchanged to through email or to the USB. For example, if in one company, so all the teams are there, like the architectural, structural, and MEP teams are there. So they can integrate their models in between by exchanging the files by USB or email or by using the Google Drive or OneDrive. Okay, so in that cases, the version conflicts and duplication may occur. That's the most chances may occur there. And the communication part. So there will be a delay in the communication part will happen there. Okay, because they are not using any advanced part in that one. So just a simple workflow. But cloud workflow means you will have a centralized cloud model in ACC, Autodesk Construction Cloud, and a real-time collaboration will happen. So real-time collaboration means at same time the different teams can work in one project. So in this case, one team don't want to wait for the other to finish their work. So they can start their work when the others are integrating over there. Okay, and this will be a single source of the truth. Okay, so that's the difference between the traditional workflow and the cloud workflow. Okay, now let's go more detail into the inside office team workflow by using only the Revit. So I explained that one. Either you can share your workflow or your file through the USB or through the email. but there will be a little bit advanced in that one. Okay, by if you have a LAN network in your company, then you can arrange the teams like the architectural, structural, and MEP. Okay, so the each discipline models in the Revit. So they will use only the Revit to model it, whether it's an architectural, whether it's an structure, or whether it's an MEP. They will model by using the reference of each discipline. Okay, and they will make that model as a central file with the workset. Okay, so I am explaining about only the inside the Revit. Okay, so they can model this as a central file with the workset. So what are the use of this workset? They can create different workset and they can allow a particular person to work on that one. And the main contractor or the main person who is responsible for the coordination, he can deny the request or the other team are putting, and he can also grant that request. That means, for example, this Revit LAN network allow users to work in one project. But for an example, all the teams want to work in one wall. Okay, then that's not a possible thing. Okay, they can work in one project, but they cannot work at the same time in one model, like the walls. So in that case, if one team is already working in that one and the other team want to work on that thing, so they need to put a request. So the one who is in charge for the coordination, he's also watching what's happening in the project. So he can deny the request or he can grant the request over there. Okay, so that's what happens in a local area network over there. Okay, so once all the teams make the changes, so they will synchronize to update instantly. So they will update all these things in the same time. So all these steps are included in the Revit on the collaborate tab. You can see all the tools. So this is just for the local area network sharing. Okay, so here we don't have much buttons for the cloud sharing that I will explain in the coming minutes. Okay, now if you go back to the PDF, and if we are following this local area network, so no OneDrive or Google Drive is allowed. So it's not possible. It's not possible in OneDrive or Google Drive. So we need a mapped drive to share it, a network. So that will be created by the IT teams of your company. Okay, so in maybe your company was using the OneDrive just to exchange the files, but if you want to do the work sharing process in the Revit, these two are not possible. We need a network itself. Now, and why this OneDrive and Google Drive doesn't work for the work sharing? Because they are designed for the other purpose. They are not for the Revit work sharing purpose. It's just to store the files. Okay, what we are uploading. That's it. It doesn't go beyond that one. It doesn't have any connection or it doesn't promise the Revit to enable all these work sharing things. Okay, and it's inadequate for real-time logging. Maybe it will become too slow. If you want to upload your project into the OneDrive, your Revit project in the OneDrive, it will take too much time over there. And maybe it will get a chance for the data corruption and for the synchronization part. If the one team need to update it and if the other team want to receive that update, so if it's happening that Google Drive or the OneDrive, so it will make too much time in that gap. So this two platform like the Google Drive and OneDrive is not good for the local area network sharing under the work sharing of the Revit. Okay, so I will explain what is the process we are going to do in the local area network. So in the local area network, as per the image, there will be a central file. So this central file will be creating the main coordinator in your company, and he will create the central file and he will give the access to the local files over there. And he will upload this into the drive. So each users, what they are downloading into their PC, they are downloading as the local files. And this local file will have a connection to the central file. Okay, so once it open, we will get an option to detach from the central or to remain in the link. So we need to remain in the link because, for example, this user one, what he make the changes, he need to update to the central file. So he need to do the synchronizations. So if you go to the Revit, so whatever update he made it, he can go to collaborate and he can use this button, synchronize with the central. Okay, so as a different uses, whatever changes I made it, and if you want to update to the central file, so we need to synchronize it before you exit from your Revit, or before you finish your shift. And if you don't save it and all your work are gone, so before your shift finish, so don't save it, just synchronize with the central, so it will automatically update to the central file, because we are using a network in that one. Okay, and to do that one, we need to create a central model in the Revit. That the main coordinator, he will create the central model in the Revit, and he will also create the work set. Okay, but the main coordinator will be having the right to create the work set, because as per the Revit, this work set can be created from any of these users. Okay, and so that's why we are putting a coordinator rules in all the companies. So that means the other users will not touch in the work set part, because they can also create it. Okay, but the one who is handling the central file, they will only create the work set. That's not a rule in the Revit. That's a general rule we are following the offices. Okay, then we are using the local copies and we are using the synchronization. That's what happened in the local area network workflow. Okay, now I am going to introduce about the Navisworks part in the inside office BIM workflow. So if it's inside office workflow, so what are the use of this Navisworks? So first of all, I will explain Navisworks is of 3 versions. One is a Navisworks Manage, the second one is a Navisworks Simulate, and the third one is a Navisworks Freedom. So the Navisworks Manage is used to do the 4D simulation, to the quantity quantification, to do the design review, and to perform the clash detection over there. So these are the use of this Navisworks Manage. So mostly we are using the Navisworks Manage for the BIM workflow. And Navisworks Simulate is used for the simulation process like the pipe flow simulation and duct air flow simulations over there. And Navisworks Freedom is only for the viewing purpose. Okay, so we will be focusing more on the Navisworks Manage. And what are the things we are doing in the Navisworks Manage? We are doing the model integration and aggregations. Now I'm going to show you the Navisworks part of the same project, what I'm using in the Revit. So in the Revit, actually, I just open an architectural file and I just import an MEP file over here. Okay, and I have the split, and I done the split screen for the same project. Okay, and if I go to the Navisworks, I had already append the MEP part. Now I'm going to append the architectural part. Okay, so I'm going to open the architectural part. So I append the architectural part over here. Okay, so as per my presentation, so these are the 3 main topics we are going to cover inside the office BIM workflow. Okay, so first one is a model integration and aggregation. The second one is a clash detection and interference manage. Third one is a project review and collaboration. Okay, so for the model integration and aggregation, so you can just make a walkthrough inside your site. So to enable that one, I go to the viewpoint. So I'm going to turn on a third person over here. Okay, and the first of all, I'm going to make him fly and to put it inside the site over here. Okay, so once this person entered into the site, then I can put this into the walk first, then I can turn on the collision and gravity also turn it on. Now, so that I can walk into the site. So I can just check, instead of going to the site, I can check more details over here. So this is called the design integration or design review. So you can check what are the things going to happen inside the site. Okay, so from your Revit models over here. Okay, now if you want to find the clashes, what are the clashes happen between these services? So I can go to the home tab and I can turn on the clash detective. So once you turn on the clash detective, I can create a new test from here. Okay, I'm going to name this one as the architectural versus MEP. Okay, and I'm going to select here the HVAC and the architectural from these two parts, and I'm going to run the test. So once your test is run there, you can see that when this much clashes are found here. So total it shows that 215 clashes are happened there. So most of them are the minor clashes because I didn't make any cutout through the walls. Okay. Now, if I want to check with the first or second clashes, so it will just show where it is. Okay. So the person who is in charge for the BIM coordination, so he can export this report and he can give to the teams. Okay. And there is an option called the assign to the team. So this is for the cloud. So that I'm going to explain after a few minutes. Okay, so this is the process inside the office. So he can check what are the clashes happens over there and how he will report this to the teams. It's not only taking the screenshot and sending the mail. So what he can do is he can export this one as a report. Okay, so to do that one, let me expand this window. Okay, so once you go to the report, if you scroll down, so here I can see the right report. So normally we are using the HTML format. Okay, and the report I need for the current test. And if I click write report, okay, so I'm going to name this one as architectural was MEP. I save it. Okay, now let's have a look at the report and how the other teams will get access into that one. Okay, so if we go and open that report from here, so this is how the report will look like. So here it will show the item 1 and item 2. So the item 1 will be the HVAC as per the classification on the left side, and on the right side it was the architectural one, or you can read it from here. See, the item type is solid, and here the item name is showing the default wall. Okay, so this is an architectural part and this is the MEP part over there, and all the clash reports are generated. And as a user, okay, as a user, how and I can identify the spot in the Revit. So what he can do is he can just copy this element ID. Okay, and once he go back to the Revit and he can go to this manage tab and he can find under the inquiry and he can just paste that element ID here. Okay, so once you click show, see it will update in the Revit model so that he can correct it from here. Okay, so this is also a simplest way of BIM workflow when it's happened inside the office. Okay, so that's the use of the Navisworks inside the office BIM workflow. Okay, now let's go to the cloud part. Okay, so this is more advanced part of this BIM workflow. Okay, so for the Autodesk Construction Cloud, so these are the modules we are using. So the first module is called the Autodesk Docs. So that's used to store the files and to control the versions over here. And the second module is the model coordination, where we will combine the model in the cloud. Okay, so once we combine it, then we can find the automatic clash detection. We don't want to run the test. So, and we can use a plugin called the issues generator, where we can create an issue or we can assign and we can track the responsibilities over there. So these are the things you can do it in the cloud. Okay, and this is not a separate software, it's an online portal. Okay, it's not a separate software order. So to get access into this one, so you need to use the same license what you're using in the Revit, and you can just sign in with the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Okay, so you need a separate subscription for this one. So according to me, my company already have the subscription to the Autodesk Construction Cloud, or it's called the BIM Collaborate Pro. The old name was the BIM 360. Okay, so if I go to the all products and services, and so here you can see there's a BIM Collaborate Pro, and that's an advanced version, and there's a BIM Collaborate. So I have the license to do that one. So if you want the connection of this workflow, you need to use the same license what you're using the Revit. Okay, and the same user ID you need to use it in the BIM Collaborate Pro. Otherwise, this process will not happen there. Okay, those who doesn't have this access, if they want to check their BIM workflow, you can also access for the 1 month trial versions. for this one, or you can request your companies to give the license over there. Okay. Now the other thing is about the issues management tracking. So this is not a inbuilt part of the Construction Cloud. This is a separate plugin that also you can just download from your Revit plugins. Okay, so you need to choose your existing version. I'm using 2025, and if you go to the view details, and if you go to the extension, see here you can find that plugin there. So you need to download this separately also. That means only with the Revit you cannot perform the cloud BIM workflow. So we need some external plugins also, not the external, I mean from the external source of the Autodesk. Okay, so I had already installed all these plugins and all. Now let's go to the Construction Cloud platform. So this is my Construction Cloud platform. Okay, and I had created my projects already in this Construction Cloud. So if I go to the project part, so these are the project which I had already working for, and here it will just show the data over there. So today for this webinar, I had created a sample workspace here, and I had already uploaded the cloud models into the Construction Cloud. Okay, so that means if I go to the collaborate, so after I make the central file, I need to save this one as the cloud model. So if I go to save as, I had already created this as a cloud model. That's why this button get grayed out here. So you need to save this one as a cloud model over there. Not a simple project will perform there. Okay, now let's go back to the Construction Cloud. So these are the projects which I'm using here, and I have the access to the docs, design collaboration, and model coordination. So these are the different modules under the BIM 360. Okay, now I will explain what is BIM Collaborate Pro or BIM 360 and what is a Construction Cloud. So this Construction Cloud is an overall platform for the cloud one, and BIM Collaborate Pro is one of the product under the Construction Cloud. Okay, that means if I'm just opening the project which I'm working over here, it is. Now you can switch from your modules like the docs to the design collaboration or to the model coordination over here. Now I have several folders which I created here, like the cloud models. So if I open the cloud model, so these are the cloud model. How I can understand that one, whether it's created as a cloud model. So this icon means it's an work shared and the cloud model. Okay, in some cases only the cloud symbol is showing. That means it's a cloud model, but it's not work shared. So we need to make it two. We need to make it as a cloud model and to the work sharing also. So that's why it's written here, work shared cloud model. So I have separate HVAC and firefighting, and I have separate architectural one over there. Okay, and if I go to this project, so these are customized. Okay, it's not the default one. So here you cannot see any of this icon here. That means this is a symbol project. So I use this docs to store my files in the cloud. Okay, and if I go to the work sharing, okay, so here also you cannot see that option because I just create a copy of this one. Okay, and if I go to this consumed part, so I don't have any further folders inside that one. So the main thing is the cloud model. So we are just working on this cloud models over there. Okay, and if I am just going to the next module, it's called the design collaboration. So in the design collaboration, we'll be creating different teams over here. That means the main architect of the project will be the responsible person for the entire coordination. So before the steps what we done in the Navisworks, it's just only the inside office one. So here it's performed by the main architect or the main coordinator of who is in charge for the entire coordination in that project. Okay, so here if I go to these the members, so here I can see that once I am myself become the member of this project over here. Okay, and you can add the company name, and you can add the role and what is the project access level over here. So I can make it like a project admin or project member. So if it's project member, I can only view it. So if it's project admin, then I can open this cloud model, then I can edit it also. Okay, and the next module is like the model coordination. So model coordination means you can see your models, what you uploaded into the cloud. Okay, so now it's just loading the latest coordination one. So if I'm just selecting only the architectural, okay, and if I'm opening in the viewer, so I can just see the only the architectural part over here. Okay, and if I'm just closing this one also, but if I'm just selecting both, and if I click open in viewer, so I can see the collaboration of these files, both over there. In same like the Navisworks, I can also do the design review. I can turn on the first person, okay, and I can use the arrow key to move inside, and I can control this direction over here, so that I can use for the design view. Okay, and I can find without going to the site, I can find it and I can report what's happening over this project over here. Okay, and now in the model coordination, so there is an benefit called the automatic cloud detection. Okay, it's a good thing in the cloud collaboration. The automatic cloud detection means, so if I go back to the cloud, so I can turn on the clashes over here. So once I turn on the clashes, so it will just show the clashes happen between all this model over here. So you need to understand that one, the clashes what we find in the Navisworks, I can see it and I can export that report, and then I can give it to my inside office persons or teams over here. But this is for the cloud. Okay, maybe the main architect will be collaborating the landscape, MEP, facade, then the architectural or the steel structure, water things, everything. So he will make it the collaboration. Then he can find the overall clashes over here. Okay, so if we are going more detail into this one, so how he can issue that these clashes into the user. For example, if I turn on these clashes, so I need to report this to the team. Okay, so this team means it can be the subcontractors. Okay, so then I can click a point here. Okay, I can click here and I can create an issue over here, and this issue will be a clashes. And I will click a position just to show this one over there. Now automatically this cloud will generate that clashes and it will upload a thumbnail automatically. Okay, and we don't want to share it because already the other subcontractors are already in this cloud platform. Okay, so once it assigned, so I already publish it. Now it's already unpublished. Now I am publishing this again. So if it's published, so whoever contractors are under this cloud, okay, so they will get all this report immediately. Okay, and they can assign to a one person also. So I'm going to assign to the my project itself. Okay, over here. Okay, and I can put a start date over here. So it need to be start today itself, and due date means I'm just giving the other contracting companies for the 2 days to clear that issues over here. Okay, now the root cause, I can mention a root cause there. It's maybe due to the design collaboration it happened there. Okay, now how it will get updated in the users of this subcontracting or contracting companies. So just imagine I'm also into a company part. So I had already installed this issues plugin. So here you can see that when it will appear as a new tab here. So if I click on the manage issues, okay, so now it will just load it over here. See, now these clashes are already upload showed over here. Okay, so this is the previous clash which I had created because this is the one. So here it will show the due date. So when we need to assign it. So if I click here, it will show in our model over here, and this is the part. So we need to find it from here. Okay, maybe if your model is in wireframe, okay, and if I click over here, okay, maybe I click here back and over here, or just click over here again. So it will just show here. Anyway, we will get a thumbnail. So we need to clear that one over here. Okay, so this is how you can connect your Revit to the cloud model. So you will get it on the same time what the issues they are publishing. So in that cases, as a team member, I can clear this one. So I don't need to wait for their email, or I don't need to wait for their reports and everything there. So these are the benefit of making the collaboration in through the cloud. Okay, so if you are just waiting for more update, you can reload it over here. Okay, so by default, only with the Revit, you cannot use this issues plugin over there. Okay, so you need to install it. And same thing, I had already installed in my Navisworks also. Okay, so I'm going to exit this Navisworks. Okay, and I'm going to open it again. Why? Because the models which I open it over here, it's an offline models, because it's just only the NWC files. Okay, now I need to open the exact cloud models. Okay, then only the same time, then you will get that issues report there also. Okay, now let's wait until it get opened here. If I want to access to that cloud model, then only I can get that same time issues clashes over here. So I need to go to this coordination button, then I need to open the cloud model. Okay, now it will go to the cloud part. Okay, so this is a cloud part. So I need to open both the architecture and HVAC. I just click open over here. Okay, so once you get it open here, and I need the same clashes what the main architect issued to us, I need to put it over here also. So I can click on the manage issues. Okay, so the same issues will be loaded here, because it's all already connected there, and see, it will just showing me this point over here. So I'm going to use click here. Okay, then it will show on the Navisworks over here. Okay, so this will be going to the main coordinator of that office. Then he can send this to his team also to correct it. So this way it's structured to the cloud, to the inside office, and to the teams over there. What does this issue management will do? We already seen that practically now, but I'll just give in more detail that it will detect the clashes. So in the Autodesk Construction Cloud Viewer, so I'm on the Autodesk Construction Cloud Viewer over here. So I'm viewing two models. Okay, so I can find the automatic clashes from here, and I can report these issues to the other teams or to the other subcontractings over there. So that's the things we will do in the issue management, and we can just convert these clashes into issues. So if it's just only the clashes we find in the offline method in the Navisworks, we can just export that report. That's it. But in the cloud, we can just convert that clash into issues over there. Okay, and also we can assign this to a responsible team, example MEP. Okay, and automatically the team will receive the notification, and he can fix us in the Revit. Okay, and if the clashes is clear, then he can republish this model so that it will get updated in the cloud itself. Overall summary for this webinar is it's a real-time collaboration across all the teams, whether it's an architectural or to the main contractor or to the main architect, to the other subcontractings. So it will just create a real-time collaboration across the teams, and it will just keep a centralized data environment, and it will reduce the design errors and the clashes. Okay, and it will increase the speed in your project delivery. It will make it more faster, and it will improve the design quality and the decision making. And this is an overview for this BIM workflow. So this modeling will be done in the Revit with whether it's an architectural, structural, or MEP. Okay, and on the collaboration side, we are just saving or publishing this to the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And for the coordination, we are using the combined models, and we are making the automatic clash detections, and we are using this issue tracking to assign and resolve this conflict. Okay, and for the advanced part, so we are also using this Navisworks. That's it for this webinar. Okay, so hope you all get the idea for the BIM workflow for an easiest method.